have wanted to do this for a long time, not as a holiday, not as a thing you try once and photograph, as something I get to do, because this is where we live now. This is the second beach we have brought you to, the one I said was coming. And this is the week everything came together, a birthday, a board, and the first piece of land we drove an hour to go and see. I always come down first, before everyone else. A few minutes alone with the water before the day begins. And then they arrive, and the quiet becomes something else. The kids have all of it, space, room to run, nothing they are not allowed to touch. And as a parent, this is one of the few places where you put the worry down. Just for an hour, I think every parent knows the worry I mean. The beaches here are busy in their own quiet way. Everyone's doing something, everyone with their own space. And in central Portugal, if one beach fills up, there is always another an hour away. So everyone keeps their own piece of it. When we were trying to figure out whether a life like this was even possible, I wrote down everything we learned. It is free on the website, but more on that later. It feels different when the waves are this close. You feel the power of it before you're even in. A little scared, if I'm honest, but I'm not someone who lets the scared part decide. I think trying to think is the only way you ever find who you are. And I'm not good at it yet. One day I will be the one out there having fun on the water, but today I just had to start. There are people fishing along this beach. The fish we cooked in the last video probably came from somewhere like this. Some people would call this a hobby. I think a lot of people here it is something closer to a way of living. It puts food on the table directly and by what they sell. The line between hobby and living is thinner here when it was where I came from. They are seeing all of this from very beginning of their lives. The water, the work, the people. I think it teaches them something I cannot. To be open, to see sides of things. People think the dramatic cliffs are all in the south, near Lisbon and the Algarve. Central Portugal has its own. This particular week, the drive home meant something, because we were driving home to get ready for a birthday. Our son was turning 2. It was his birthday week. And if you watched our first video, the story of why we left Scotland, you might remember that he was the reason we waited. We delayed the whole move because of him. Last year we celebrated his birthday in Scotland, still only thinking about Portugal, still dreaming about it, still not sure we would ever actually do it. And here we are, a year later, doing his second birthday in the place we used to only talk about. It feels like kind of relief, and the best reward I can think of, that we actually made it, that we are here. Every year it somehow would take us until late at night, all of it done by hand, this year by 6 hand instead of 4. That part felt special. We always go to bed late on this night, and somehow I'm always the one awake first. I get few minutes alone with the morning before anyone else is up. It feels like being let in on something. His sister could not wait. She woke him up so he could be as excited as she was. She helped him open every present, although I think she was also getting a little birthday of her own out of it. This is his birthday where he actually understands it. The candles, the cakes, the whole thing. His sister helped with the candles too. She kept blowing them out of him. I think she was still hoping it might be hers. This was a couple of days later, and it is the day we had been planning and talking about it for a long time. We were going to see the land. I was still trying to keep the slow morning, even while we were quietly rushing to get out of the door. Some habits are worth protecting, even on the busy days. We have always wanted our own piece of land, somewhere we could be more self-sufficient, grown our own food. I have actually been drawn to people who grown their own, and so more now, when real food, actual food, gets harder to find every year. This slow way of living, the food, the time, the space to even think about things like growing your own, it is the whole reason we made the move. Everything we figure out about how to actually do it, the parts nobody explains, is in the free guide on the website. I will say where at the end. For now, the drive. On the way we passed through a small town called Penacova. Quite cozy. It is near a river, and central Portugal is full of rivers. There are river beaches all through here, not the ocean, something that is gentler, and the kind of place you do not find until you live nearby. And then we arrived at the first one. This is the first piece of land we have come to see. And I have no idea how many more there will be, or how long any of it takes. It is just something we have always quietly wanted, a bit of land to grow some of our own food and to be little more sufficient. It is not a plan with a deadline. It is just part of the life we're slowly building here. And standing on it for an hour, imagining what something like this could one day be, that was a good way to end the week. A birthday behind us, the ocean trip, and a quiet idea about the future still taking shape. When we were trying to decide whether any of this was possible, the move, the life, all of it, I could not find honest information anywhere. What it actually costs, what paperwork really involves. So I wrote it all down. Everything we wish we had known before we change our life. It is free on the website. The link is in the description and it is called The Slow Move. This week had a bit of everything in it. The ocean, a board I had wanted to try for years, a birthday that meant more than a birthday, and a quiet idea about the land still only beginning. We're documenting all of it, honestly. The slow weeks and the full ones. If you want to follow a family living quietly in central Portugal, subscribe. We publish every week. Thank you for spending part of our week with us.